Futurama is better than The Simpsons. The Simpsons isn't a classic, it's the classic. The Simpsons is amazing and will go down in history as one of people's favorite animated shows ever. However, their sequel set in the year 3000 Futurama is more original. It was basically Rick and Morty before Rick and Morty. But more importantly, the show was not stretched out way after its expiry date. The show's producers may have changed, Fox-Comedy Central, but even after that it was still great. The Simpsons stopped being as pure and enjoyable after around season 9. By no means is The Simpsons bad, in fact it is still amazing, but just in comparison to Futurama, I think it isn't as good. The first 10-ish seasons of The Simpsons were pure gold. After that it's just a downhill ride. Unpopular opinion that I have, I don't think your opinion is as unpopular as you think. I miss Futurama. I won't miss The Simpsons. The Simpsons takes pride in the fact of how long it's been on the air, but I think that's somewhat of its downfall. Like they say, sometimes less is more. Have you ever tried simply turning off your TV, sitting down with your child, and hitting them? Agreed, I remember crying watching Futurama. Agreed, and it's a shame that they cancelled it instead of The Simpsons. Not unpopular. Everyone thinks this. MG is holding back till The Simpsons dies before he brings it back. How many times is this going to be posted? Simpsons should have been afforded a dignified death after the movie. Instead it still shambles forward, zombie-like, I suppose, waiting for one of the main 4 voice actors to retire/die. The biggest travesty is that Futurama is over, but Fox has all these other shows in its adult-oriented animated lineup and can't even hold Professor Farnsworth's jock. Real hard for me to care about Bless the Hearts when I know we could still have Futurama in that slot. But yeah, it's Fox. The better your show is, the more likely it is to die prematurely. Not even groaning is immune. I would trade 20 more years of The Simpsons for 5 more years of Futurama. I don't know why, but I have never been able to get into Futurama and I've tried. I also dislike Family Guy but love South Park, so not sure what my deal is. Good news everyone. I used to love The Simpsons. It's gone way too long and it's horrible now. Might I add, American Dad is better than Family Guy. I agree, but is this really unpopular? The Simpsons become awful in the later seasons. To be honest, Futurama had pretty interesting story itself. I agree. I 100% fully agree. I just wish Fox would listen to what the fans really want. People have been begging for a reboot or spin-off since it was cancelled and we've got nothing. I mean, on r/Futurama you can literally see how big and active the fan base is despite it being years since the last season ended. I just wish we could have a spin-off or something, but at least we have Rick and Morty. Yet it's not an unpopular opinion, rather a popular opinion that gets posted here on a monthly basis. I agree with this wholeheartedly. While I do miss Futurama a lot and I think it was way funnier, I'm glad they didn't drag it out and beat it to death. I do think The Simpsons has been dragged to death. I haven't enjoyed any of the recent seasons and at this point I've just stopped watching. Futurama is better than The Simpsons, just like American Dad is way better than Family Guy. Anyone who didn't grow up during Simpsons seasons 2 to 10 would agree, but nothing tops the old Simpsons. The leader is good, the leader is great. Surrender your will, as of this date. All I'll say is that I agree that season 9 was the game changer, in that all the seasons after that really started to suck. Yeah, where can I watch Futurama? Last couple of Futurama seasons weren't as great either. This is not unpopular. I don't agree with that. In my opinion, the first 12 to 13 seasons of The Simpsons just so iconic, funny, and original that, in my opinion, make the best on its genre. Don't know if I explained myself. English is difficult. Anything would become as bad as current Simpsons if you have been around as long as they have. I've watched Futurama all the way through at least 5 times, if not more. I can't say I've even watched The Simpsons all the way through if I'm being honest. Stretched out way after its expiry date. Because it got cancelled. Not because it rode gallantly off into the night under its own power. Unpopular opinion, I don't like Simpsons altogether. The Simpsons at its peak will beat any show ever. The Simpsons after its peak. Completely shit. Futurama is funny and great and all but doesn't compare to seasons 1 to 10 of The Simpsons, and this is a hill I'll die on. The Simpsons had 8 seasons that were unreal, and completely fell off after a couple more. Futurama had 5 great seasons and proceeded to immediately fall off a cliff. Because it knew when to stop. Is this really that unpopular of an opinion? Cool popular opinion, bro. I don't think this is an unpopular opinion. By no means is The Simpsons bad, in fact it is still amazing. Nah, it's pretty fucking bad right now. And as someone who grew up watching this being one of the greatest shows of all time, it's pretty painful watching it today. You just want to take it to the woods and put it out of its misery. I think most Futurama fans would agree with you. The Simpsons is great. It should have ended like 15 years ago. No show should go for 30 years. The Simpsons should have ended years ago. Also, it began losing its magic in later seasons. To me they're completely different shows. They give off 2 completely different vibes and use different humor. Can't really compare the 2 emo. I tried watching the newer Simpsons on Hulu. Didn't get past an episode because there was a scene where Bart and Homer were floss dancing. Shut that shit off immediately. Nah. Futurama was getting a little sappy at the end and probably tapering out, emo, but I would also put it above The Simpsons based on my enjoyment. I'll surf past a Simpsons episode, but I'll stop on a Futurama episode. Recent Simpsons episodes will still elicit a giggle or 2 out of me, though. Its longevity is remarkable. American Dad is also better than Family Guy. Emo Futurama and Rick and Morty are not comparable. I've watched Futurama about 4/5 times and loved every single second of it. And I've tried to watch Rick and Morty, but it just felt like complete shit. I felt like it was a kids show, but they decided to keep the same BS and add mature stuff so adults would like it. You either die a Futurama, or you live long enough to see yourself become The Simpsons. Futurama's ending is sad and joyful at the same time. Fry got the life he dreamed about with Leela and he get to redo it again. More unpopular opinion, neither show is very good. On average, hell yeah, Futurama died before it could be a zombie show with nothing fresh for 18 years. It was like James Dean, a good-looking corpse with gel in its hair. Shut up baby, I know it. I don't get where this idea that The Simpsons started getting bad between seasons 7 and 9. Like I get that the principal and Popper is where a lot of people say the started to decline, but I disagree. If you want to point to anything where the show started to decline, I would argue it was after the movie was released. Even then it was a slow burn and took a few more seasons for it to really start showing the cracks. Futurama is good, but I don't think it will ever be better than The Simpsons, especially if we only compare Futurama's 7 seasons to The Simpsons' first 7 seasons. Death by Snoo. Early Simpsons is the best, but I don't think any single episode is as good as The Luck of the Freerish. It's Rick and Morty before Rick and Morty. That's not necessarily a compliment. The first 6 to 8 seasons of The Simpsons were better than Futurama, but Futurama beats The Simpsons after that. I honestly never watched Futurama. I think the first 5 seasons of Futurama are pretty bulletproof, even the movies are pretty good. But all the seasons after the 4 movies are hot garbage. Futurama sucks. Yes, because it didn't overstay its welcome. Old school Simpsons in the 90s is pure magic, dude, come on. Futurama is pure gold, but The Simpsons, pre-kookery, was more than a cartoon, but an institution. The Simpsons is trash now, it's dead and needs to be shut down already. I genuinely don't watch TV shows through more than once. Too many good ones out there. I have watched Futurama through at least once a year since probably 2003. I had all the box sets in the days before streaming. I'm also only 25, so most of my life I've been watching that show. Agreed. Bender honey, we love you. Shut up baby, I know it. Gree. Here I go starting at S1E1 again. I prefer the first say 12 seasons of The Simpsons, but Futurama ended before the quality tanked. The new episodes of The Simpsons are unwatchable. I disagree. The Simpsons may have gone on for too long, but there are a solid 10 or so seasons with nothing but great episodes. There may have been some episodes of Futurama which were better than any Simpsons episodes, but there aren't as many great episodes as The Simpsons has. It's not fair to judge The Simpsons based solely on the newer episodes and forget those first seasons. It's its expiry date. FTFY. I'm just gonna sit over here and enjoy them both. Can't think of anything more trivial than quibbling over which is better. More unpopular opinion, I think they both suck. Wasn't The Simpsons pretty original at the time it first started airing? Up until that point, cartoons were pretty much seen as just for kids. I'm sure this will be unpopular among Redditors. Someone forgot to stuff this nerd in a locker. This sub's top posts really are just popular opinions, huh? Is this double speak at its finest? Do a flip. I wrote an essay about this in the 6th grade. Ew. Futurama is nothing like Rick and Morty, you take that back. To me this is not an unpopular opinion. I've never met nor heard of anyone who thought otherwise. How is this unpopular? They both suck honestly. King of the Hill is better than them both. If you didn't shed a tear watching the Jurassic Park episode, you are obviously dead inside. In its prime, The Simpsons was the smartest, funniest show of the time. But it is definitely crap now. One-liners, bad puns, the characters have changed, it's gone ridiculous. King of the Hill is better than both. Honestly, I hated it after Comedy Central took over. Never laughed once during Futurama. Multiple times in Simpson. Unpopular opinion, both suck. The dog episode was the one time I ever cried to a show. Both suck. I have no strong feelings one way or the other. King of the Hill was better than them both.